Welcome back to Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. Um, just wanted to talk about a couple things, the state of the state, as it were. First, for anyone who is part of Ubi's stream, pardon me, brain fog. I'm having to push back the Acoustic Cafe a bit. The live version, it's just the setup that I have with the iPad. None of my interfaces work streaming live. And this is kind of fair warning. I found this out the hard way that StreamYard, I'll plug in all my interfaces, everything's working. The second I hit record on StreamYard, it disconnects all of those. I got a hold of tech support, and all they said was they just don't support external mics on the iPad. That was the best answer they could give me. So if you're looking at streaming, if you have an iPad first, and Ubi said this really well, use what you have to start. This is great for recording. I'm going through the iRig Duo for recording. It works great. But for live streaming, it just doesn't work. So I want to thank everybody who's helping with what Ubi brought up and is working on. It's still a little overwhelming for me to think about. I know the community's hurting. There are so many people dealing with so much. So thank you to everyone who's been so supportive about working on getting a J-Rig together so I can live stream the Acoustic Cafe. So one idea I'd had for the community was kind of a virtual swap meet, right? We all have gear dreams and things we'd like to do for our personal collection or our personal guitars, as well as for our channels. Since joining this community, I've been introduced to some incredible companies I didn't know anything about, and possibly one of the very coolest things I've seen are Tease guitars and Scar My Guitars, Scarred guitars. So in particular, I'd put together kind of a wish list like we all do. Obviously it's just not possible, but the Gauntlet has kind of become a dream guitar of mine. So behind the scenes, you might see this herd thin out a little bit. There's some stallions, some of the prototypes that may end up kind of finding a new home, but those are expensive USA guitars. There's only so much I can do, so that's kind of a side thing. But I got to thinking the guitar community is really good on trading and moving gear around. So I wanted to put out the idea of the virtual swap meet, where we put up videos or posts on YouTube of what gear we have available for trade and what we're looking for. So one day, maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, I'd love to get a Gauntlet. It almost doesn't matter what color. They're all gorgeous. Green or the classic Sunburst are my favorite. And I want to see if, once I get finances settled, if you can make enough trades to do something like a Gauntlet down the line. Like I said, working on other things right now. But for trade, I do have some interesting things, or for sale, just to raise the cash to get things done. So I wanted to go through my contributions to the swap meet and things that I'll be listing if they don't find a home. First, this is kind of just a beater neck. I'd sent one of these to Ted. You can see it's really banged up. The finish had been sanded off while I was trying so many different things. The holes are already drilled. This is a Telecaster neck with a beak headstock, but this one has the Kluson style tuners installed. See the split posts? They should still be in good shape. I'm not really getting a little bit of wiggle, but that might just be because they're loose on the third and fourth. But split post tuners installed, neck. I'd say tops, this is a $40 to $50 thing on Reverb you'd try to sell. So not necessarily looking for any huge return, but if someone has a use for that, if they have something they want to trade or whatever, or just let me know what you need to do. This isn't really a monetary value kind of thing. But this, with the Kluson tuners, with the square heel, and you can even see it's burned. This is a beater neck. I don't know if you can use it or not, but the tuners, they should be good. Next, before I get to the last part, I don't use this pedal anymore. I had gotten this. This was a Wampler Tumnus, the original artwork, you know, with the lamp. If you know anything about these pedals, you've got two different gain levels here with the switch, but this one has seen a lot of life. This was originally a demo unit. Has Velcro on the bottom. I do have the original bag. The feet were never installed, and the stickers, you know, and the manual is in there. This one, going on Reverb, because it's the original art, people are asking 180, and if they're in pristine condition, there's one guy asking for 1,200 for one of these. He's not going to get it. But I have a Wampler Tumnus. Let's say fair value is around 150 to 175 because the condition still works, not a problem. The Tumnus Deluxe Overdrive with the original artwork. If that's something you're looking at or looking for, you have a trade or something, you know, let me know. Shoot me an email. My contact is in the description, or just shoot me a comment. But the final three items are why I opened this up with this guitar. This is my Cross prototype. I'd done a demo video on this before. This was my idea for the Stallion for an alternative version. The guitar is not up for trade or for sale in this forum, but I had bought most of the equipment to make another one of these, and that's what I'm going to show you. These pickups are by Porter. These are wide range, and you can see it's standard humbucker size with a mini humbucker in the middle, all with that open face. I have another set that was matched at the factory, never opened. These are two conductor. You don't split these, so I actually like that for wiring a little better. These are two conductor. The neck goes out at 8.7K, the middle at 7K, and the bridge at 11.5. Wide range, if you're not familiar with it, kind of gives you closer to a single coil tone, but with a humbucker. These are brand new. To give you the idea on the price of these, if you go to the Brian's website right now, they don't even have the mini humbuckers up for sale anymore. You might be able to get them custom. That'll cost you around $150 at least. The wide range humbucker size, they have a couple sets on the website, and they're $160 a piece. So $320, about $460 pickup set here. And you can see why doing a USA everything body gets pretty expensive pretty quick. So those are the pickups that went into that guitar. I'm going to turn off the amp. It's starting to squeak a little bit. One of the things I did during prototyping, because I was soldering and desoldering so much, is I got a few of these through Mojotone. This is a solderless wiring kit, and this is the same type of electronics I have: master volume, master tone, and the blend control that allows you to blend the neck and the bridge. Brand new, and it obviously comes with the tone jack with it. Brand new. You can find these things on Reverb for 110 to 120. And again, these also would work with a standard HSH through a pick guard. I reserved it for these because these work perfectly with it. But again, now you're at what was spent on all this stuff, $450, $550 worth of stuff just there. This, I sent Ted something like this. These are the finished pre-soldered harnesses. Again, this is master volume, master tone, and a blend control. The blend control has a shorter shaft typically, and you would need to use a pick guard because the shaft might just not be able to get up through a top. I had to shave that cavity down to 1/8 of an inch to get those shafts to go through like they do on a pick guard. But I have one of these. These assemblies typically costed around $70. But it's all pre-wired. The guys do a really nice job on these. And once you're getting into manufacturing, you just wanted to have a bunch. It has the tone jack. Anyway, that's all the electronics pretty much you would need for one of these, either solderless or soldered. And then the final piece that I have is from Musicraft. When I was testing some of the different USA available necks, where Musicraft is licensed by Fender, if you've ever used them. So this is a Telecaster pocket with a beak headstock, vintage tint, jumbo frets. It's still a plastic nut, but usually cut really well. What makes this neck special for me is the profile. This is the Stevie Ray Vaughan asymmetrical D profile, so a little bit of chunk. I love the way the Stevie Ray Vaughan necks feel. I wanted that in a Telecaster style. This one never came to be. I was basically just a body away from getting this one made and some tuners at this point. So this neck, it's got a truss rod up top, the old fashioned, it doesn't have the wheel. I still have the receipt with all the features on this. This neck cost me $300 from Musicraft because again, they're licensed by Fender. So I was using some authentic parts to put things together. So $300 neck, $450 pickups, a solderless wiring harness for $110, and a pre-wired harness for $50 to $70. It's obviously a lot more than you can get in sales, and you can see why I held on to these things for so long. So it's almost $1,000 in parts plus the Wampler pedal. But here is everything you would need pretty much between electronics and the neck. You just need a body and some knobs and some hardware to build that prototype. So my dream goal was to try to turn all of this into a Gauntlet. But I really doubt Sean needs a warehouse full of spare parts floating around. So those are all going to be available for sale or for trade. I've listed the dollar values. Maybe I'll do a YouTube post of them again, just listing everything out. But if any of that stuff is something that you need, that you're looking at, that you might be interested in buying, shoot me a note. I don't just want to list it on Reverb and send it anywhere. And I love this community. So let me know what you think, your ideas for a virtual swap meet where we would have a single place, and that's probably something Ubi would have to do, but a single place where everybody can put what they have and what they're looking for. If I could turn all of that and pay some bills and turn it into a Gauntlet, that would be a dream come true in the next couple years. Reality is that's probably not going to happen. I need to try to get a J-Rig done and pay some bills like everybody else. But let me know what you think of the idea. What do you think of the gear, that prototype? I love the way this thing plays. I'll link the demo to it in the description. thank you everybody for all your support. I love you guys. I've already had to change that schedule I'd put out. I think I have the name of the Catalpa, and I'll release that over the weekend. But my new schedule, it was just too aggressive. I'm going to record a few Acoustic Coffee Shop songs and just release them throughout the week, 3 to 5 minutes usually. And then I'm really going to only have 2 major segments a week. This, where I talk about gear, usually Addie's here, she's not for this. And then my straight talk, my story is about mental health. And last time I talked about the Rajah Jackson Psycho Stew situation. So early in the week, I'm hoping from Mondays going forward, I'll do 1 gear segment, and then on the weekends I'll do a talking segment, and then I'll be releasing Acoustic Coffee Shop songs throughout the week at different points. Just trying not to overload everyone with content, and once I'm ready to live stream, I'll pick my days for that and we'll go forward. Thank you again for all the support. Again, this is Jeremy. I'm sorry about the headphones. I had to adjust my rig again. I will talk to you guys soon.